Hi, we're here with Della Moore. And Della, I was wondering if you could give us your full name and how you came to Olean at this point, and when you came from Olean.
My name that Olean knows me by is Della Moore, and there's no wanted posters, guys. But that's the name that they know, Della Moore. And I came to Olean in '72, right after Agnes. As I said before, Agnes floated out of your vision, and I just jumped right in.
Why did you come to Olean?
Oh, because it was a good place to raise kids.
Okay.
Yes. My husband was born and raised here. We were in Philadelphia, married and had children in Philadelphia. And Philadelphia was getting too dangerous. And my kids were like becoming more shy and shy because of the activity in the areas where we live. So my husband said, well, why don't we move back to my hometown? Oh, we spent our honeymoon here in Olean.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we did. We went up to, he took me to Cloud 9. He took me to the Upside Down Hill. Yes, so we spent our honeymoon in Olean. And there you go.
Coming from Philadelphia to Olean, did you or your children have any trouble kind of getting used to the more rural area compared to the city of Philadelphia? And if so, what did you have to go through to get acclimated towards Olean?
I didn't really want to come because I believe the hype that you see on television. Mm-hmm. You know, if a black person goes to a small town or through a small town, you'll never be seen again, you know, and you'll just disappear. I believe that hype. But I'm so grateful that it did come. When I first got here, the first month, my telephone bill was $300. Back in those days, that's a lot of money because I was so, mom, you know, so lonely. So homesick. But believe me, I'm so grateful because my kids, they fell right in. They made friends at school. They just came out of this shell, and it was wonderful. And I don't regret that at all. So I'm very grateful that I'm here. Yes.
Did you find any difference in the racial relations between the small town here like Olean and Philadelphia? Were there any differences that you were able to see when you first came here, or that maybe bothered you or made you feel better, one or the other?
In Philadelphia, of course, I could see me everywhere, you know. But when I came to Olean, it was hard to find people who look like me. Not everywhere the way I have it in Philadelphia. You know, there's sometimes I was the only black person in the store, or the only black person in different areas, and school, the only black student in school. I mean, college, you know, Alfred State over at Homer Street and all. And so there were I think there's three black people in there. But whereas in Philadelphia, the ratio was a lot more closer to the comfort zone.
Did you have any difficulty adjusting to that yourself?
Yes, I sort of did, but because I was very shy. Yes. And when I came here, and I think it gave me a chance to really, you know, blossom, get to know myself, because I didn't have to, because people were so friendly, and there's hi, how are you, like that, and they were very more friendly than Philadelphia is reserved, but nice reserved, except in your own neighborhood. Mm-hmm. You know, I had a wonderful childhood, but yeah. So trouble adjusting. Well, outside of the fact that I miss my folks and I miss my family, and I was the only one really to go away from home, you know, and to stay, mm-hmm. and so outside of that, Olean helped me to fit right in. They did.
So the big question is, did you miss Scrapple?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And grits. Yes, sir. And greens. Yes, sir. I did. Yes, I did. Yes.
These people might not know what Scrapple is. It's a Philadelphia treat that...
Absolutely. Don't ask what's in it, but it's okay.
No, you don't.
Yes, that's a nice question. That caught me off guard. That's a nice question. But yes, and that's all right. Now, and I miss also not being able to, and I still do, because that hasn't changed very much. Although Tops, bless your heart, Tops, did give it a try for a while, but then didn't, about hair products.
Okay.
I can't get the stuff I need for my hair here still after 40 some years still.
Really?
So, but now we have Scrapple. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Tops right in the back of the aisle. You'll find it, okay?
Okay.
I got you.
I've had it.
We even, oh yeah, we'll go. I will go there. Okay, next question. But yes, that was an adjustment that, it still bothers me that, I can't get that. I have to go to Buffalo or get get care packages from home like college kids do.
Now, you and I are a little bit older than some of the students there. What are the big differences you've seen in race relations, say over the past 30, 40, maybe even 50 years since, have there been good things, bad things, what still needs to be done?
Relations here in Olean.
Yes.
Okay, all right. The ratio of black students and people have grown. I see more blacks in the area now than I did when I first came here. Of course, let's see. As for relations, when I first got here, the people I knew, because they knew Jimmy, my husband, my then husband, they knew him, and so they accepted me, and we would hi each other, and all. But I find that, and it's difficult to say that, but when I speak to black people now, it's not all, please, not all, but it still bothers me when it happens. I holler to everybody, hi, how you doing, how you doing? And when I do that hi, and I get a, like that, it hurts. But I understand, because if they're not from, they're where I was back then, probably 72, although I did speak to everybody when I saw them. So that's the difference. And more students in the schools, and I'm grateful to see that. More stuff about Black history, which I'm super grateful to see that. And because when we speak about our Black history, you'd be surprised how other people open up about their history. Like, we have a writing group here, and it's just awesome. We have different subjects to talk about and everything, and it's just awesome, because when we talk about our background, like what was your first day at school like? And it's beautiful that people open up, and it's all different, but it's all the one thing the same. Sometimes I was scared, sometimes I was feeling, no, I was bold, like that, but that's a human feeling. And then we get the color in it with the the cultural type, what happened to culture, what did I take for lunch, like that. So yeah.
So, Ms. Della, what is your educational background and or work experience over the last, few years that you've been here?
Few years?
Yeah, well, since 1972.
Let's go back.
I mean, I was born in 72, so.
Oh, hey.
So I know you've been here at least 43 years. So.
Yes. We came here in 72, and I went to TOPS, and I remember that very well. Mr. Johnson from the unemployment agency gave me the little slip and asked me to go down to TOPS because they have a cashier opening. And in my era, okay, we dressed for the job, and I had my heels on. I'll never forget that. My feet still never forgave me because I had enough fare to take the bus, and we had buses in those days. Take the bus down to TOPS, and I lived on Armory Place, which was behind the Armory. Yeah, there was a row of houses there, Armory Place. So I took the bus down to TOPS, which is like 25 blocks maybe. All right, and then was wonderful enough that Mr. Larry Winnell gave me, he said, wait a minute, just a minute. And I filled out application, everything. He hired me on the spot, and I bless him so much. But I didn't have enough money to get on a bus fare home. So I had to walk home in those heels. Right. And you don't even wear heels, right? And
No,
you know how that feels. Whoa, that hurt. But it was, then I was allowed to wear after regular shoes after that. But that's how we were taught. You dressed up for the job, so and okay, education. So, and then I went to, I saw an advertising about Shakespeare at Homer Street at Alfred State was over at Homer Street. So I went there. I walked from by then we were at the 12th Street Projects, Washington Street Projects, and I walked from there over to Homer Street, and there was a big Saint Bernard that did not like me at all. And every night it was night class after tops. I went there, and I went there. I went there in English and audited English classes with Gene Waldon, and then it grew and grew, and I signed up and went there, and that was Alfred State for 2 years. Then went to Bonaventures for the next 2 years, and then took some time off, and took some time off, and I was on the school board for 10 years. Then went back to school all this time with TOPS in my background and supporting my habits, and went back to school to St. Bonaventures and get my master's degree in bachelor's degree in English. Then went back to school, then a little bit of time off, where I did other things, two, three other things, yeah. And then went back to Bonaventures and got my English degree in English. And then I took some little bit of time off, and then I went to Temple. Then I went back to the Bonaventures and got my American history degree. And then I went to Temple and got my African American Studies degree and master's in that. And then I went to, at the last semester, the final days of the semester, in an African American women's seminar, woman, Barbara Ewan, came from International Foundation for Education and Self-Help, foundation by Reverend Sullivan, where it was going to send people and teachers to Africa, and came to that class and said, we need some people in Africa to go and help out. And had no idea, but other people signed up. I was the only one to go. So, so I spent 7 months in Africa teaching at the college of University of Concan, and had a ball. And I wanted to stay, longer, but I got sick. But and now my family won't let me go back, so that's so bad. But God is good, because He gave me this to do, and I couldn't be happier. And let's see what else. And I spent time in AmeriCorps, which had a ball. I have climbed rock climbing, and that zipper thing. And walked across a iron rope, not iron rope. What do you call cable? 2 stories high, and I've done some nice things. Yes, so I guess that's it.
What cultural differences did you see in Africa compared to America, especially maybe with African Americans? Were there big differences or not big differences?
Let me take Africa and compare it with Americans. Okay, because that is bigger. When I went in Africa, and this is what spoiled me, my teaching at Concan, this is what spoiled me when I was in Africa, Africans that I had, and I taught, for one time I had a class of 96 students.
Oh, wow.
It was outside the fact that it was hard to test, because everybody was so close and all, but it was wonderful. I had a class of maybe 7 students in my methods class and 96 students at English as a second language class. And the students there, and they range from 17 to 37 years old. And the students there wanted to learn. You would not find, you would not find a student come there with pajama bottoms on. You would not find them come with flip-flops on, or their pants all the way down where they shouldn't be. You wouldn't find that. I found that when I got here, back here. And I would say, because I went to Bonovich and said, okay, now maybe I can teach a class or something like that. When I walked in, I'm sorry, Bonovich, I love you to death and you know that. But Africa has spoiled me. They really, they wanted to learn. They asked me to teach more things. And we had a full schedule, but we opened up on Saturday. And we had no electricity, but 2 hours a day. Yeah, but they were willing to come on Saturdays and still learn about computer literature. And think they're very, very, very cognizant of the fact that education is the thing. It's the way to go. You know. And I didn't get a chance to practice my French because everybody wanted to do English. Yeah, so practice the English on me. So that's it. But that's it. And another thing that I found in Africa and in America, and opposed to America, in Africa, I can go in a room and sit down, and an African will come in the room and sit down right beside me, right here. In America, I can be sitting down, I can be sitting down, black or white. Let's go with black. And another person come in, they'll find a chair somewhere over there or something like that, unless they know you. And I find that strange. Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Although code, I find that strange. Yeah.
So you haven't had any difference in treatment as a black male would have being a black female. So there hasn't been any difference of treatment. Even from your own race.
Let me let you in on a big not secret, okay? I have always been, ever since my son was born, I have feared for his life. As a black mother, I have feared for my son, a black man's life. I have feared for him from school, and I have feared for him when he went off to college at Fort Lauderdale. I have feared for him when he, traveled because of this profiling, and I just feared for him. It's crazy, but my daughter, I know she could take care of herself. I know she can handle it, And that means no disrespect for Kim, because Kim can take care of himself, because he's like his mom. He'll talk his way out of things, But he's a good guy and a good, wonderful. He's grown up to be a good, wonderful man, and I'm proud of him. But I did have this mother fear of him, what if somebody, mistakes him or pulls him over or something like that.
Sure.
I have fear that.
I know that you have a good relationship with God.
Oh,
and I've known that for some time. And you've had a relationship for a long time. And as we went to see Pastor Lamont yesterday, was it yesterday?
No, 2
It was
days ago.
2 days ago.
Sunday, yeah.
Sunday evening, and we listened to him speak about the black culture in the Bible.
Yes.
What was your take on some of the things that he had mentioned about black culture in the Bible? What is your take about religion and different things as he talked about it being a white religion? What is your take on that?
Well, and I appreciate what he done, but I think that conversation is long overdue. It really is, and it should be ongoing. It really is, because you're not going to answer all the questions, and everybody's not going to get their say in one setting. The thing that he talked about when he put the pictures, and what we live with, it is so true that we do live with a white Jesus picture. And all the pictures now, one of the best looking Jesus I've ever seen was Jeffrey Hunter playing in, King of Kings. That's way before your time. Even yours, Steve, way before your time.
I remember it.
Yeah, right. With the blue eyes,
Yeah.
Oh, wow, I fell in love with that man. Well, anyway, and so and yes, but what it is we accept. What he said about his mom in his grandmom's house and everybody's house.
Right.
We accept that it's the thing. That's what you depict. But I think we've learned, and this is only my experience, how to understand that this table is a table and it's a table, and that's there. And but we can catch on to things that we can grow with, feelings that we can grow with. I guess I can best answer that question with, I think I was talking with a group of people in the Afterglow. I love Afterglow because that everybody is relaxed and talking and groups of people, and then they get to mix the other people and stuff. That when I was at an event and they were showing pictures of examples of Christians and and what they do and etc. And it was a good thing, a depiction of as in relation to the Bible and blah blah blah. And but after a few reels, after a few minutes, it hits you as a black person. It hits me as a black person. Did we watch this for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes? There was not one black person in that reel of film. And I know there are black people around. I know that. I know that. God put a little more than just Della in there,
Right.
Black people in there. But and so we were talking about that. So then after that, I realized that it tugged on me a little bit and said, "Oh wow!" And I hung on to the message that they were, the message as related to me, something that I can hang on to. And that part I had to put aside because that didn't change. That's not going to change. And the thing about it is, whoever's putting it together, they might not be harmful. I'm sure they don't mean it. They don't think about it. They don't think about it. That's all. They just didn't think about it. I saw a movie. I'm one of these. I got hooked on forensic files. And on YouTube, thank you, YouTube. And so they had this one episode, and one episode that this black family, this black woman, was killed, and it found out later that she was being that somebody else stole her identity. Another black woman stole her identity, and they were going to. They were just about to, and the woman who stole her identity pretended to be her sister and said, "Okay, we're gonna," and was aiming to cremate her, with no service. And they had a black detective and a female detective. She said, "No, that's not right." She said, "Black people, we have to have a service. We always have a service." And they found and they listened, and they grabbed that lady before she was cremated, and then they found out that she wasn't, and they solved it. If they had not had that black detective there, they would not know. And about that, and the woman who had gotten away with murder.
If you had to give advice to a white counselor, because we're all in counseling, obviously, who is going to counsel an African American person, either man or woman, what would be important? What would be the important thing for that white counselor to be able to realize or be able to relate to the African American client?
I would ask them to, if they had the time, and I think they should make the time, is to talk to their African American friends. If they have that, if they don't have it, go to. There are clubs all over. They're and it's not like the old days where, "Oh, what are you doing here?" Well, like that, because you can go anywhere and sit there. And that's one thing that you have that I don't have. Yeah. I think I related that when we were talking before Sunday, that I would not. I still do not feel. I still have that edge that I don't feel I can go every place. Where that enabling thing, and all, I still have that, and I'm 77 years old, so it just doesn't go away like that. But I would say in this day and age, how can you not have African American friends? How can you not? You know, but don't ever say some of my best friends are black. Please don't say that. Please don't say that. Please don't say that. But how can you not? But I mean, I'm not talking about going up to somebody and say, well, I know you live down the street and I'm such and so, and I just want to know, how do black people feel about da 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 without knowing something? You gotta do the relationship thing, and that's what takes time. And that's it. Oh, then there's other groups that like we have here. Sometimes we have tell us about yourself type thing, you know, and we advertise it. And next time we have one, I'm going to definitely make sure you guys get an invite. And it's not only black people. That's what the center is not about black people. It's not, but it's not only that. But seek out, you know, that, and that's what I ask. But please do me a favor and listen. Listen. But that's you know, not all that easy to do, because when you're listening with your ears and your background.
Do you find that younger African American, either men or women, or girls or boys, have that same edge, or is it different today than?
They don't look at it, to me. They don't look like as if they do, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know, I really don't know. But I've seen boldness that that's sort of like, ooh, like that kind of thing. Okay, no problem. When I was let me just when I was in Africa, okay, that's the only time, I take that back about the neighbor. When I was in that's the only time I thought what it might be like to be feel like you're a neighbor, because they treated Americans like, wow, like we were kings, and like we had all the money in the world, and you know, and yes, we had the best of everything, you know. And I said, wow, this is what it feels like. Whoa, and then I didn't like it so much because, you know, that made me a little bit different. But yeah, it was. But as for today's younger, yeah, I see a boldness in them. That I remember teaching a class and talking about Rosa Parks getting on the bus and going all the way in the back. Not going, no, it wasn't Rosa Parks. It was the fact that we had to go in the back and sit in the bus way back then. And I remember black students telling me, I wouldn't do that. What's the matter? I wouldn't do that. Ever since then, I have told them to please they have to take the 2000 whatever it is, the 19 whatever, shield off, and let's go back to where it is, to really appreciate what our ancestors have done to get us where we are today. That's that's always telling them. So yeah, there is that, but I sense a little more boldness than.
What advice do you have for the younger generations to come together as different cultures?
Well, let's see. Now I'm taking into consideration, this is not sage at Della, you know. This is plain old fashioned human being, mother type, grandmother, great mother, grandmother. But what I said, I mean, you don't. Go to where the people are, you know. Not plugging our thing, but the center is a good place to go, and that's because I just can't imagine in this now. When I first came here, yes, it was kind of hard, kind of difficult to find people, you know, of color. Not that like the same thing you do and all of that. But now, my gosh, yeah, more people are coming in. I would suggest making friends. I know it's hard. It's hard to, you know, because Americans don't seem to be, you know, yeah. Where an African will come up and, hey, how you doing? And you do that, and then you're ready to do a Bruce Lee or something. Yeah, right on that. And in the South, you probably could remember friendships. Because I know you got a whole ton of people in Bonaventure when there was only a few when I got there, you know. And I'm not talking about going and insinuating yourself on people, because, you know, that's wrong. That would be awful wrong. But I don't know except when you see someone, you say hi, and you'd be surprised what hi will lead to.
And you named all your different educations that you
Oh.
had gone through your life.
Okay.
From being, an African American female, like during that time, getting your education, did you ever have any professors or any like students that looked down upon you or were stereotyping you because you're a little bit, different from probably most of the majority of the white
Right.
male, your counterparts usually in classes? Because I find that even now it's mainly white males in classes. So, did you find anything like that?
Yeah, but when what is that? What is some movie that it says there was something. There was a not an uprising, but something. But I know what it is. Did anybody see The Gray?
Yes.
The Gray. Yes, remember The Gray? You remember when he said, "What's that?" He said, "The Alpha."
Yeah.
The Alpha. There was a disagreement, uprising, and Alpha put it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
There's
say.
the wolf. Yep.
Yeah, but I put it down.
Good.
But I found encouragement, so much encouragement. Like for instance, like Jean Wald, like I mentioned before, and when I went to her class, we were talking. And this one true way I got started on the black teaching and lecturing and stuff here. I was in her class and we were literature. She taught English at Alfred State, and we were doing literature. And I asked her one time. I said, "Well, it's one of those things like the event I was in. You read the book and read the book and read the book, and suddenly you realize there are no blacks. There's not representation. But there was I think there was Toni Morrison, and maybe one Langston Hughes. So I asked her, I said, why don't you teach about the Harlem Renaissance? And she says, you know what, Della? You seem to know more about it. Why don't you do it? And at that, I went off running and never stopped. Yeah. So that was encouragement.
Good.
Yeah, it was really encouraging. But yeah, they look at it strangely. Yes. Yeah, that was it. But I wasn't being boastful when I said I put it down. That just came to me. He put it down. The Alpha put it down. One thing I would ask for everybody to be, and when you're dealing with other people of other culture, is to be sincere. That's the key. That's the key. Because they might not see it in the beginning, but when it comes through that, oh, he's only playing me, oh, she's only playing me, it'll hurt. It'll cause so much damage. So much damage. Just be sincere, because you're not going to like everybody. I'll like everybody. I'll take your I like everybody. You don't have to like everybody, but you don't like everybody. But just be sincere. That's the key. And even if you are doing your study, and you're doing a study for such and such, if you're sincere, you'd be surprised what you get.